FICO, FICO 8, FICO 6, FICO 2, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. Those are the three bureaus. We have TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. We have all different FICO metrics that can be pulled. You're going to have to ask your institution, what credit do you pull? What bureau do you use? Is it a soft inquiry or a hard inquiry? A hard inquiry reduces your score, and it shows in your credit report. A soft inquiry does not reduce your score. It's not a hard impact. It's no impact to your credit at all, in fact. And so you need to know, because you might be looking at Credit Karma, and this is really important for me to touch on. You think you know your score, but it's not the same score the bank's looking at. It's about knowing precisely what FICO model are they using and which of the three bureaus, or all of them, are they taking the Vantage, are they taking a tri-score? Could be. You've got to ask, you've got to understand, or work with someone who knows in advance of application. That's important, because you might think you're in the 700s, come to find out in this particular FICO, in this bureau, you're 100 points less. I've seen it. 80 points, 75 points, 60 points less on the bank's poll, which is the poll that matters most. It's not the source of truth per se, but it's the arbiter of your application at that institution, is whatever credit poll they pull. That's why I mirror what each bank pulls, so I know in advance of your application. So important. That's what you need to know, and that's what the report is all about, IntegraTech Report. And businesseligibility.com is understanding before you apply where you stand. So credit reports, and what can you do? There's a lot of credit repair. This is not a credit repair course. This is an understanding how banks, lenders, and institutions make decisions for lending and credit. That's what this is about. This is the education for that. This is not credit repair. And what are they looking for when they're trying to repair, or you're trying to repair your own credit? Let's understand, what are the derogatories? What's utilization? Do we have any collections? And we're breaking that down. So 30, 60, 90-day lates on your trade lines. Trade lines are accounts, your open accounts, your closed accounts. How aged is your accounts? What's your total available credit? So your credit limit versus how much you've used of that. That is your utilization. That's the fastest path to improving your score. So we're going to break that down really quickly. $100,000, that's your total max available credit. You have 80,000 of that used. You're 80% utilized. You have a 20% available, you're 80% utilization. That is on the higher side of utilization. The fastest path to improving your score is always reducing your utilization. That is a degree of certainty. The exact amount of points, anyone who tells you you will lose or increase or decrease that specific amount of points on that type of behavior, they're lying to you. It's kind of the invisible enemy at times, but you can rely upon the fact that if you reduce your utilization and you have less of that total credit available used, so you went from 80,000 used to 40,000 used, you're at 40% now, you've reduced 40%, you can rely upon the fact that your credit's going to increase. So here's something that pairs with that, which is important and included in the report. What is the reporting date, the trade line reporting date? Each of your trade lines can be the same date, but many times they're different dates that they report on. You need to know when they report, and that's when you can check back to see did your score improve. So each day there's a day of the month that each trade line reports. It's knowing, okay, I had this one maxed. I used $10,000 out of $10,000 on this one credit card. I paid that down $5,000. Now it's $5,000 used. It reports on the 23rd of the month. Around the 24th, 25th, that should show. And you could re-poll via a soft poll, and understand what was the impact on my score. So the fastest path with a high degree of confidence to improve your score is reducing utilization. Why is this counterproductive or not the greatest news sometimes? Because you're borrowing because you need access to capital. You don't want to be told by somebody like me to say, well, you need to pay down your debts. That's why I'm borrowing, I need money. So we understand that, and it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. That's why this is not for credit repair. It's about best practices and measures that you can take to improve your eligibility across all borrowing metrics that an institution takes into consideration. So fastest path to improving credit is reducing utilization. Now, if credit is down for other reasons, maybe it's not enough credit history, then you need to get a card or two and pay it off and use it. And it's important that over time, if you keep something at zero or maxed out the entire length of the term, those are both risks. If you keep something at zero and don't use it, you run risk of them reducing your max available, the limit. They'll reduce your limit at some juncture, they will, on an automated basis usually. Now, if you keep it max for too long, you run risk of them reducing it also. So there's the borrowing and the paying back. The borrowing and paying back, the using of the credit, and you don't have to incur interest. You can pay it off where you're not carrying it, and so you're not paying interest, and that's the best way for you to have a very positive credit history and have a higher score. Another path that you can use is called an authorized user, where you can have somebody who has a strong credit card. Maybe it's been aged for a long time with a high limit. They can add you. Maybe it's a family member or a friend. And you don't want the card, you tell them, listen, I don't want the card, you can cut the card, you can mail it to yourself. I just want you to add me as an authorized user because I need a bump in my credit score. And some banks, of course, will ask the question, do you have a financial responsibility for this trade line? But many times that'll be a great way for you to jump your score up. Two things: paying down utilization, being added as an authorized user. Those are fast paths. There's no guarantees ever with anything 100%, but the closer you can get to guaranteeing improvement in your credit score. And very common. Now, obviously, you can't have a whole credit history. It's all authorized users. You need your own accounts, but that'll help you. That'll help you acquire credit and be responsible for your own credit. And there's nothing that you can't save and redeem. So again, this is a financial mirror you're looking into. You just need to be honest with yourself. We can all improve in everything in life. None of us are perfect. One area we can improve, perhaps, unless you have 800 credit plus, is credit. And how do we do that? And it's paying timely. It's paying timely, keeping utilization as down as we can, and at times adding an authorized user for maybe an aged account with a higher limit. That'll help your score and your profile. And then, of course, it's inaccurate information. You need to fight, and you need to challenge it. And there's other ways to do that. It's imperfect, meaning it's not guaranteed. Now, there's the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and this is not a credit repair course, as I mentioned, but there are regulatory measures in place that ensure fairness in credit. So there are ways that you can take advantage of and have the forced removal of inaccurate information that they can't support. But the fastest path with a high degree of confidence to improve score, what are they? There's two of them: reduce utilization, strong authorized users.
Learn the course for free at businesseligibility.com.